Hey everybody and Happy New Year. It's Aline. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who do not know me, if this is the first video that you're seeing of ours, my name is Aline of the Michelle and Aline of our YouTube channel. I run this channel with my sister Michelle. We are both 20-somethings living and working in New York City, and we're sisters, roommates, best friends, and we document our lives, our cozy, wholesome, slow living lives in one of the busiest cities in the whole world. We've been back in the city for a couple weeks now. We took about a month off to enjoy being home in Montana for 3 whole weeks, where uploading wasn't really possible because we were doing also a lot of travel while we were in the west region. My partner is from Idaho, so for the 2nd year running, we did a 9-hour road trip to go visit their family and stay with them in Boise, and then we did the same road trip all the way back to be in Montana. We spent some time up kind of by Glacier National Park. We have some family friends who have their home up there and it's pretty off the grid, so that would have made uploading very difficult, but also it was a really amazing thing to just kind of be grounded, be with family and friends, and to just kind of enjoy the holiday season. I keep telling people it's amazing what rest will do to a person. I feel like I shed like a whole layer of skin, like a literal snake. In this video, it just shows you a couple days in my life, getting back in the swing of things, unpacking, seeing some friends, going to work, and I also am going to do a little chat about 2023 resolutions at the end, so please stay tuned for that. This video is very, very kindly sponsored by Speakly, which is a language learning app. I don't know about you guys, but I have big dreams for 2023, and learning a language is certainly not on there. So you'll be hearing about them a little later. I don't want to waste too much time here, so let's just get into it. Hi guys, so obviously we are back in New York City, to our home here on the Upper West Side, and I'm sure I'm gonna get into the nitty-gritty of what being back home is like in the intro and the outro and the in-between. But right now, we're in a hurry because we are currently headed to our Sunday ritual of dropping off our compost and going to the farmer's market, maybe peeping into the Sunday Upper West Side bazaar. So we've got places to be, things to see. Michelle is also going to a dance class later. She's killing the self-care game so far in 2023. And I am going to be taking a long leisurely stroll through the park upwards to go to the local Whole Foods to get some things for a recipe that I saw on TikTok. Me, Michelle, and Elise all freaked out equally, individually, separately about this bean dish, and then talked to each other about it. So I feel like it was a sign from the high heavens that we make this bean dish tonight while we watch the new Glass Onion Knives Out mystery, which sounds like an evening to remember. I also still have to unpack, so I'm gonna have a bit of a solo afternoon. So it's gonna be pretty cute, pretty wholesome, just getting resettled back in the city. And I can't wait to show you guys what I get up to today. It's been so long since I've been in the city, so I'm so excited to actually, you know, even go to the store here. It feels like glamour. Anyway, come along with me today. It's gonna be a super fun, wholesome time. Hi guys, so I just said goodbye to Michelle, and now I am heading into the park, Central Park, which is behind me right now, because Michelle had a dance class, and we just looked around the farmer's market and the bazaar a little bit. Didn't find anything, but there was still lots of cute stuff around, and I got to run into a couple of regulars from my coffee shop, which was very sweet. We've been kind of on the track of becoming potentially like real life friends, so that's always very wholesome to run into people that you know, especially in a city so big. It's really fun that after like multiple years in a row living in the same place, you're kind of starting to build relationships in community, and it feels so much more like home than it used to, especially since like we were just home in Montana. It's really cool to have like those contrasting feelings and realizing that they're becoming very similar, even though the places themselves are very different. So that's very wholesome. And now I'm just gonna take my slow canter through Central Park to go get supplies for dinner, and then I'm gonna go home. So that's my day, so come along with me. Yeah, it should be pretty nice. The day itself is not too cold, although I wish I didn't have wet hair from my shower earlier, but what can you do? Anyway, that's what's going on, and let's get walking. I'm back at the house now. I have been for about an hour. I just had some lunch and got started on dinner. I got started on dinner early because I have never made like a stock pot for a recipe before. I didn't know how long it was gonna take, and sometimes, you know, they're supposed to take like an hour, so just want to make sure that that was like ready and set to go so dinner didn't have to be such a big affair. And now I think I've got about 45 minutes until Elise comes over, and Michelle should be getting home from dance class, like really I think like any minute. So I just want to make sure that I got started on my unpacking. My suitcase is still in the hallway where it does not belong, so that's what I'm going to do now. I've also just started watching House of the Dragon, which obviously people were talking about a lot. Was it the fall? I think it came out in the fall. I knew I was gonna like it. I just wasn't watching a lot of things by myself, mostly in groups either with Michelle or Elise. Now I'm back in the city and I'm back in the usual routine of things. It's nice watching like my own show, and I love fantasy. I liked Game of Thrones a lot, as most people did. I obviously preferred seasons like 1 through 3, and the second half of the show is whatever, if you ask me. I also have my own issues with Game of Thrones. I do think that the world building is just really stunning, so I am enjoying watching stories that take place in that world, and I'm excited to see what happens. I think I'm just on episode 4. Anyway, so let's unpack. This is the suitcase in question, and as you see, it very clearly takes up quite a lot of this hallway. Now let's get started. Hey everybody, so I just got back from work. It was actually a really good day because this is the slowest time of the year, which I know sounds kind of negative and people hatey, but it's not that. It's just that we are a very small staffed coffee shop. We really only have like maximum 4 people working a day, and it's usually for just like 1 or 2 hours before one of the openers kind of goes home, and then we're left with 3. So it's a majority 3 people working a day, and we're very high volume. And sometimes it's just nice to have these breathers in the season. The summer and fall and holiday season were really busy for us, so it's actually nice to be able to have actual conversation with everybody about how they're doing and how all of their holiday seasons were without the kind of ongoing stress of, I don't know if we're gonna be able to close on time because there's so many people and there's so much left to do. That's been really wholesome, and honestly it's made being back in the city really, really nice. So I'm back at home and I'm just about to get into the kitchen to make dinner. I've changed into some clean, soft clothes and sweatpants, which is really nice. It's been really fun actually, because lately I feel like I have been so much more passionate about cooking again. By the end of 2022, I was definitely suffering from a lot of burnout. Making dinner is hard. There were some days I feel like by the end of 2022 where I was just like, I cannot believe that I have to decide once again what's for dinner. So I feel like a break from my regular cooking routine has actually been really beneficial and has sparked a lot of newfound joy in it again, which feels so nice. I obviously cooked while I was home. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like it's very different to be cooking when that is like one of the only things you have on your big list for that day. I have been loving being back and being rejuvenated. I feel like it's crazy what a little rest can do for the body and do for the mind. I'm kind of like lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm really enjoying cooking again. Last night, me and Elise made butternut squash risotto. That's not what you saw in the last clip. It was like a bean orzo, which was also so good. I'll link the recipe for that below. It's a Justine Snacks recipe, who I love to follow on TikTok. Tonight's dish is inspired by my mommy. She is a real quiche princess. That's one of her staple dishes in the home. She just makes a ton of quiches with a rotating array of vegetables. I remember just being like very exasperated by how much quiche I had to eat all the time, but now that I've been out of the home for like 3 years, I honestly levitate spiritually whenever I have a bite of quiche. So I am going to be making one tonight. I already made my crust. I made it on my day off this week, which was kind of iconic of me, I'll say it. And I'm just gonna have to roll it out and saute my veggies, and then everything is good to go. I think I have yellow squash, peppers, carrots, onions, potato, and corn that I'm gonna add. It's not very traditional at all. It's just whatever, you know, you have in your fridge, which is honestly some of my favorite ways to cook. Hopefully that inspires you guys to make a quiche today, which honestly, if I'm just a quiche influencer, I'm gonna be happy about my role in society. So I'm hopefully gonna share with you guys the end result. Hey guys, it's me again. I'm interrupting this video to kindly talk to you about our sponsor for today, which is Speakly. Speakly is a language learning app that was developed by experts from 4 different countries using a unique method where you kind of learn the words and phrases that are the most useful first. So all of it is structured around relevancy. It uses a method where you're writing, speaking, listening, and translating all in one program, which is incredibly valuable and smart if you're asking me. Right off the bat, the design is super user-friendly. It's ultra personalized. You pick the language you want to learn right off the bat. You choose the language you currently speak. You choose when you want to be notified about your lessons if you are a structured based learner and you want to learn and do your lessons at a specific time every single day. You can also pick your skill level in the language, which is kind of cool because as someone whose goal is to get better at a language that they already speak this year, Speakly is incredibly useful for that. For those of you who don't know, I am originally from Chile. That is where I was born and where I was raised until I was about 11 years old, where I moved to Missoula, Montana. The big difference from Montana and Chile is probably that in Chile, you speak Spanish, and in Montana it's a very homogenous area, although very beautiful. My dad was such a stickler for keeping conversation going at the dinner table, but at the time when you're just like a little immigrant kid wanting to assimilate, practicing your Spanish sounds like the least appealing thing in the world. Now I live in some place like New York City where I speak Spanish every single day without fail, and although I am grateful for my dad for keeping up my Spanish skills, sometimes I find myself reaching for words I haven't used in a while because I'm simply out of practice. But luckily for me, I have things like Speakly that'll encourage me to better my skill set and to hone not just my speaking ability but also my writing and grammar ability. So this has been a huge 2023 resolution of mine. So I know that if that is one of my 2023 goals, I know it's going to be some of your guys's. So if you're interested at all in getting Speakly, I highly recommend it. My personal link is down below and you guys can use that. Get a 7-day free trial if you like. Just try it out. Yeah, that's it from me. Let's get back into it. So it is the weekend, I was gonna say our first weekend back, but that's not true. It is our second weekend back in the city. We are currently headed to meet up with our friend Lauren and her husband Corey for some coffees and a pastry. We're going to La Cabra in the East Village today, which is pretty hot on TikTok RN. So we're gonna scope it out, see if it lives up to the hype. But how can you go wrong with
a good coffee and a cardamom bun.
And also the weather is finally a little bit chilly. There are flurries in the air right about now, which is huge because it has been a sweltering like 40 something degrees every single day.
It was 50 degrees yesterday, which was
unhinged. So currently headed there. I really debated having plans today because I have kind of a lot to do in terms of productivity and getting little work things done. But you know what? I said life's too short. I really have missed my friends. Why am I gonna hide away and just only see the light from my laptop screen? That is absolutely tragic. So we're kicking off the new year right by investing in our relationships, and I'll catch you guys when we get to La Cabra. I'm really excited to check it out. Oh my god. We are headed home now after some time away from the neighborhood.
Had a great
It was
time
so
today.
much fun. We met up with Lauren and Corey. We ate at La Cabra, which was insane. The coffee was so good. I think I levitated out of my body. It was some of the best coffee that I've ever had in the world. I was gonna say New York City, but like I think the whole darn world, isn't it? We also had some pastries there. The cardamom bun was incredible.
Good. We tried that almond croissant, and we also shared a sweet bun, and all of them were unbelievable.
All of them were phenomenal. We then wanted to find somewhere to sit and talk because although it was delicious, it was bussin', so there was truly nowhere really to sit except for one table in the, sorry, my scarf got caught in something there. There was truly like no place to sit that wasn't in their little vestibule area, which is like that, it's that little box that's the door before the door in the wintertime for restaurants and stuff, so that people, if they're waiting for a table, will not like freeze to death. So it was still pretty chilly because it's technically not fully indoors, and it's a very cold day. Feels like 25. So we thought we'd find somewhere to sit. We tried to go to Dudley's to have like a proper breakfast, but honestly it was so busy and we were not really planning on brunch. It was an hour wait, and then we pivoted and went to, is it Essex Market?
Yeah, Essex Market, Lower East Side, baby.
And honestly, it was a great choice.
Yeah, because we kind of just wanted to like be able to walk around indoors and like maybe grab like a small lunch item. So it ended up being perfect. Everyone could just order what they wanted, and we just talked for ages and had a blast.
I had this barbecue pork bing. It was recommended to me by Corey because he apparently had it like 4 times, and he said, he was like, it's the only thing I get here, and he goes to NYU in the area, so I really took his word for it. It was incredible. I had never had like a scallion pancake wrap like that before, and it was so good. Honestly, we'll be thinking about it for days to come. Currently headed home and feeling good.
Yeah, had a great time, and now I'm looking forward to just recharging and getting into comfy clothes at home.
That's the video. I really hope you liked it. I did want to have a little bit of a chat about the new year, things that I'm looking forward to. I feel like there is a huge era of optimism going on right now with me and my community and my pals. I don't know if any of you all can relate. If you're having a rough start to the year, just know that all of my thoughts and well wishes are with you. I really know what it's like to start a year feeling really rocky, so it's okay. It's just January and there's gonna be another one, and goals can be made at any time, not just in the new year haze, so it's all okay. Things that I want to do this year. I just think saying them aloud, they feel more real when I do so. So here's the deal. I obviously want to continue to be present on here. That's always on the docket. I am currently looking for at least another part-time job. I still love working in coffee. I miss it when I don't. I feel very passionately about preparing coffee well and knowing what I'm doing, and I actually find like high volume service very gratifying. I am just simply looking to eventually take a step back in the next like 6 months. I would love to only have to work in coffee like 3 times a week, and so I'm looking for supplemental income to kind of give me another flavor of my life. I have worked in customer service for a really long time. Sometimes it really does burn you out, especially the aspect when people are not nice to you. So I'm looking for something to kind of give me another flavor of my day. I'm looking at a myriad of different things. If anyone was interested, I'm looking at copywriting jobs, script writing jobs, I'm looking at freelance video editing stuff, and I'm also looking at some content creation and social media jobs. And obviously, because I have this experience, I'm also looking for content creation jobs and social media stuff from time to time. So I'm kind of all over the place. I am really interested in a lot of different things. So that is currently where I'm at mentally, if you were curious at all about that. I am obviously still working on my book. If you guys were wondering, I am a writer, and I am trying. My big goal is that I want to finish the first draft of my first book this year. Currently writing a coming of age queer cozy fantasy novel, and I made great headway with it this year. I'm hopefully looking to finish it this year and get that first draft done. I want to challenge myself to take more writing classes, apply to some writing residencies. Even if I don't get anything in that area, I think it's important to make sure that I'm putting intention towards the thing that I want to be, not just the thing that's going to sustain me financially for right now. So holding both of those two as value-driven behaviors for me is going to be huge. I also want to continue to write other things, keep writing my little poems on TikTok. I also want to write, and I think some of you guys might be really excited by this idea. Maybe you won't be, that's totally fine, but I'm excited by this idea. I'm going to try to self-publish a collection of recipes and short stories and poems. So a poetry book with recipes or an essay book with recipes, and have it be just like this little silly thing, passion project that I've whipped together for all of you guys and for myself, because honestly that sounds super charming. I also feel like I finally come into my own like being again this year. COVID really wiped me out socially. I developed a lot of uncharacteristic social anxiety. I'm naturally introverted, but I have never ever had so little energy socially. It affected my life in a really sad way. Like, don't get me wrong, I have the most incredible friends and community members, and I actually feel like my current relationships are the most authentic friendships I've ever had in my entire life. I was just like very anxious about making time to see people at all because I was constantly in a state of self-maintenance, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people probably relate to this, especially since the pandemic. I feel like, especially since the pre-vac, if I was a sim, you know, my energy bar would always be like on red. Recently, in the last like month or two, I feel like I've had a real 180. It could have just been the rest. It could have just been time. I don't know what it is. Suddenly feel so excited to be reinvested in all the people that I love and new friends and new people, and it just feels really great. I also think I hinted at this like earlier in the video. I think I was talking in the park or something, but New York has really started to feel so much like home in a real way. I feel like New York, it was love at first sight, and then we really realized that we had some problems that we need to work out. I was just like, he's not who I think he is. It's giving like Grease, like we had a summer romance, and then I was just like, Danny! And then he pretended not to notice me or something.
Sandy!
Danny?
Well, that's cool, baby. I mean, you know how it is, rocking and rolling and whatnot.
Danny?
It feels very much like Manhattan is Danny Zuko and I am Sandy, and we had a really hot and heavy summer, and then suddenly it's just like, whoa, this is a lot harder than we thought. One of us is gonna have to change. Who is it? And I've got to say, I think that finally this is the year where New York is just like where I want to be right now. I feel super content with living here. I feel really reinvigorated, re-energized. I feel like I've been using those words a lot, but I do love it here. And honestly, I just want to take advantage of where I live more and more with every passing minute, month, year. So that's me. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I so appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up with me there. Thank you so much to Speakly for sponsoring today's video. Huge news. Thank you guys so much for watching. Allows us to continue to keep the lights on this channel, because we're just two regular people who are just making videos alongside our regular day jobs. So thank you so much for doing that. That means more than you know. Anyway, I really hope that you guys are having a brilliant 2023. All right, see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.